my life is a complete game changer. I removed all my blocks that were stopping me from achieving my goals. I found my true purpose.
I'm going back as a better father, a better husband, a better person in the community because of Design My Life.
Depression, meds, and anxiety and all that stuff for 2 years now, 3 years it was like. But I said I don't have to take pills to control my mood swings.
Wow, Design My Life training.
It made me a better man, you know, like I'm more confident. I lost all my anxiety, it's all gone now.
After I'd done that seminar, I'm going to tell you what, Andre, it was life-changing. And, man, I tell you, I had a lot of fun in that seminar. It has actually changed my mind frame, a lot of things, and motivated me.
I'm so glad that I came because I almost didn't.
I've got to get my fire back, I feel like. You leave with a different vocabulary, you leave with a different mentality.
From coming in from carrying a facade to becoming these extremely vulnerable, willing to learn, willing to embrace.
And the last day, I kind of just broke through the shell of the anxiety.
You know, there's nothing stopping you except you. And coming here is going to make you realize that.
So it's been about 5 months since I did the Design My Life training with Andre Mills. Since doing the training, I've been more aware, and there's a saying during the training called, "Where are you being?" Right? And there was an incident where I pulled into a parking lot and I had my wife and my kids with me. And there was a gentleman who was leaving and he had left his cart essentially right next to where I was going to pull in. And I started to put my car in the park to let him know, like, hey, make sure you move that. And I instantaneously thought about, where am I being right now? And put my car back in reverse, backed up a little bit. The guy pulled out, didn't move his cart. It was still in the way. My wife had to get out of the car and move it. So as I was pulling into the actual parking space, my kids started to ask, why did that guy leave that cart? Why would he do that? And it gave me an opportunity to actually tell them, you know, I'm not sure why the guy did that. You know, he wasn't raised the same way we were. And when I started to think about how I would normally have reacted and gotten out of the car and told the guy, hey, make sure you move your cart, and what that kind of could have turned into, and the example that would have set for my kids versus me being aware of where I was being at that moment and who I was being at that moment, not just for myself, but the changes that had come about for my kids. And the funny thing is, my wife had noticed, she's like, you know, I see that change in you where it may not be instantaneous, but it's there and you're making more of an effort where that effort wasn't being made before. So that was probably one of the best things I've seen show up since that training. Going into the actual Design My Life training, I had ran into some business issues, right? And I hadn't really shared it with Andre, but I knew that going through the training, from what I was to understand, would help reach that point and help me kind of figure out how to move forward from there. So directly following the training, because of what it brought up within me and what showed up and what I realized was showing up in other parts of my life, my business has probably grown by 30% just in the last 4 to 5 months since the actual training. My wife and I have been together 18 years, been married about 10. During the training, one of the big things that I wanted to be able to do, and what I had shared with Andre and what he helped me with directly, was relationships. And not only in business, but also in my personal life, like with my wife. And one of the things that came up was I started to get feedback that I was acting at about 99.5% of who I actually was and who I could be. And getting to that 100%, what that could do, I guess I didn't realize how much that could do in my life. And what Andre helped me do was uncover that last, you know, it seems small, but that last 0.5%. And so in my relationships in general, I've shown up to be the person I'm actually meant to be. And in the relationship with my wife is being more aware of who I'm being, where I'm being with her at all times. It's actually started to blossom uh, a more beautiful relationship, and we've been together for quite some time. So